How did you guys were attached to this film, first of all?
Well, I got contacted like almost a year before, but we just had to see if I could learn tennis and build up my body and do all the things that needed to be done. So
He was in really bad shape.
yeah, I was really fat. No, I wasn't fat, but I mean, tennis is a hard sport. It's one of the hardest games, so you needed to train a lot to make it fly. I played tennis 2 hours a day for 6 months before the shoot. I looked at everything I could find about him. I watched the old games. I read books. I looked at interviews, and then I made my own choices too.
And for you, sir?
Well, I read the script and I got interested because it was. I'm not a sports fan. I don't care about sports at all. But it was a sports movie. But it was really about human beings.
Exactly.
And that got me interested. But then I met twice with the director, and Janos, I knew he could express himself cinematically after Amadeo, but it's his first normal feature film. So, but when he started talking about the movie, what he wanted to do with it, and I also felt this kind of pit bull energy from him, I knew that he wouldn't give up until it was something special.
How much did you know about tennis before you started doing this film?
Actually, nothing. I had never watched really tennis and never been on a tennis court.
Are you a fan right now after the film of the sport?
Well, I play once a week now. So,
really?
yeah.
But you're playing trumpet now.
Yeah, I'm playing trumpet. My next part was a trumpet player, so I've been working on that. So.
Yeah. And then play tennis.
Yeah. So I learn a little bit of everything.
And for you, sir, did you remember the match or the buzz around it?
Yeah, I do. I mean, at that time, you had 2 TV channels and no internet in Sweden, which meant that everybody watched the same television. Everybody talked about the same subjects, and everybody saw every game with Borg, of course. So I saw it, even if I wasn't interested in tennis, it was a part of the culture.
And the country stopped.
Yeah, and everything stopped in the country when he was playing. Everybody was just watching television. Even in schools, they stopped education and got in a television set, and everybody watched the match. So I saw it, and I saw this final 1980s, and it transcended, of course, the sport itself. It became a drama because it's one of the most dramatic games I've ever seen.
How can you describe, guys, tennis? Because it's, I think, in my opinion also, it's very different from all other sports. It's very elegant. It has rules. You know what I mean? I don't know. You have to have a lot of capacities to really be a good player, in my opinion. I don't know what you think about it.
Yeah, and it's changed also. I mean, in the 70s, these people came in like Borg and all these people that made tennis rock and roll.
Exactly.
That was the first time money came into tennis, and you had these different characters. So and also the game changed because people started playing in a different way with a backspin and it's changed a lot since then. I mean, it's faster now. They're much better players, but I think it was more interesting to watch back then.
How much research did you do for this movie particularly?
Well, I read a couple of books, and I tried the character that I'm playing, which is Borg's trainer. There's not much video or film footage on him, but I read a couple of books. But what I really was interested in was what is happening between the characters, especially the little trio with Borg, his fiancée Mariana, and the trainer, who was a little very tight unit, very intimately living together and on tour all the time, living under very harsh sort of boot camp conditions all the time. very unglamorous, and at the same time this huge circus was going on outside. And I found those relations mostly interesting. And what I really did to portray it was that I got a bald cap and a comb over, and then I thought, yeah, that's him. Well, I've done several people or characters that has lived or even has been living, and I really don't care that much about it, because what you concentrate on anyway is what is necessary for the film, and what are the relations to the other characters in the film. That's what you concentrate on. But of course, 1 week before the opening, I called his widow and said, "I'm sorry, because I'm playing your husband, but it's not your husband." And she said, "It's not a documentary," she said. And so she was very cool about it.
As you were saying, sir, this movie it's more than a sports film. It's about human, nature. Rivals, and great friends. It's just a small line, who divide them. Can you elaborate on it?
Well, yeah. I mean, for these guys, they both want to win. They both want to be number one in the world, and to become that person, you have to be a certain person. And the feelings you get in your head when you play tennis, they have to come out in some way. But in those plays, they come out in different ways. But I think they were probably the only ones that understood each other.
How's Janusz Metz as a director? How can you describe him? How's his style of directing?
I mean, he comes from a documentary world, and I think he brings a lot with him into motion picture, because he has a sense of life, and he has a good eye for reality, and that's good when you're making a movie about something that really happened.
I don't want to spoil the movie for our audience, but the sequence of the last match is incredible. That's great filmmaking. Everybody in the audience were just seeing the match for the first time. You know what I mean? Even that we know who wins.
But it's like I said, with every Marvel film, you know that the world is threatened, but you know it's going to be fine in the end.
Guys, it's such a great film. I love it, and good luck with the movie, everyone.
Thanks, Oscar.
Thank you.